Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Illinois, folks. Again, a ship I've been really wanting to bring you guys, but getting footage for some of these ships. I haven't forgotten about ships I want to do. I'm just not focusing on it. I mean, I'll play the ship if I get good footage. I'm not going to stress about it. But I did finally get some footage for the ship. It's a ship I've been really wanting to do. I had a previous match, I got third, and I was like, I'd really like to get up at least second or first. Fortunately, the one we got first. For the economic package, nothing special. I mean, if you take my personal marriage off, just subtract 5% from all this. Except for the clan one. Except for the free XP, but just subtract 5% from the rest of it. And that's basically a normal package. Armor-wise is really where the ship is questionable. Because 32mm bow, basically, let's bring up Missouri for a second. Sorry. It does have a slight different amount of armor than the Missouri. Let's bring a Missouri back again for you. Yeah, the really only main difference is this side plating which is 32 on Illinois, 38 on Missouri. And that's really about it. But that really does make a huge difference. That really does. Even though the armor is basically the same, that extra 6mm really means you do have a little bit more trouble bouncing things. And by bouncing things, I mean it affects your tankiness. And it's not just the health. The gun turrets, again, are Des Moines turrets, basically, with quad mount 203mm guns. So, American armor piercing, heavy armor piercing, same as all that. Survivability-wise, I do have the flag on there, but for the sake of it, we take the flag off. We're at 68,000, which is basically a stock Iowa hull. So major HP loss. If you added that on there, you're still not getting nowhere near. You're really on the low end. I mean, you've got less health than Georgia. Georgia has 74,000. So you're on the low ball in terms of battleship HP for Americans for this tier. So a huge difference. And then we look at torpedo protection, it's still the same, 25%. But this ship is not that tanky. It is not tanky at all. If anything, it's more of a sit at medium to long range, HE spam, and then at the later moments of the game, kind of move in. That's what the ship really does. But the whole selling point is it does have an 18.5 kilometer main firing range. But the main characteristic are the guns. Sorry, let me go back to that for you. Are the guns. So with Halsey on there, and this is fully spec'd in and everything for the main guns. 9-second reload, 4-second switch time with the enhanced perk, and with all the perks to go to make the main batteries switch and everything, you're looking at a 20-second rotation. And I will bring up the perks for you. So yeah, we do have gun feeder and grease the gears on there, which are both the enhanced skills. So that is the key difference. And that means a lot because you're basically making these guns, it's basically a giant-ass cruiser. Secondary is nothing to really write about. Airstrike-wise, for subs, 10 kilometers. AA range, it's honestly really standard. It really, when I look at this, I literally see the Georgia. I look at it, and you compare it to the Iowa, it's basically the exact same AA mounts. Maybe there's a tad less, though. I mean, there's 90 rating here. Actually, it has, surprisingly, actually has a higher rating. But, again, remember, we're at carriers, and a carrier is an AA. Doesn't really matter. It really doesn't. But for this op, it actually has decent AA. Maneuverability wise, I did have the rudder shift, but I changed it to damage control, I believe. So it's a little low on the rudder shift at 8:17 seconds. So that is a pretty significant rudder shift. At 34.5 knots, turn your circle 930. Not bad. A little on the large side, of course. Concealment is 12.8. And I do have concealment on here. So let's go to the modules. So yeah, I did have this switched to steering gears, and then I had it switched back to damage control because I just wasn't seeing a major difference. So in all honesty, I would really just recommend just going the recommended modules, especially this one. I mean, any American Tier 9 battleship has to have this. If you're not running it, then please put this one on there. Any experienced player would say the exact same thing. Now, since we're removing the support consumable, that is not standard on the ship. But, fully spec'd into it with the skills, you're getting 5 heals and your damage control. For my build, I have Emergency Repair Specialist, Grease the Gears, or Gun Feeder, Emergency Repair Specialist, Brisk, Grease the Gears, Adrenaline Rush, Emergency Repair Expert, Concealment Expert, and Fire Prevention. If you really wanted to do something really memey and stupid, you could absolutely go for a full DPM build. And I'm honestly really thinking about doing that and giving you guys a game. So I'll probably do that and have a game solely set up that is just DPM for this thing. And I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what that looks like. But that is the ship. Camo-wise, nothing. I don't have any effects on it. Basically, you get those two standard. I like the lighter one personally. But that is the Illinois. Let's get into the map so you can actually see the ship work. Because that's where it gets critical. Hello. Welcome back to Illinois. We have Illinois, and with myself in the Illinois, we have Cleveland, Ager, Viasma, Pommern, and Kearsarge. Since this is the Illinois review, we're going to be a little bit more critical, and we're going to really show off the strengths of this ship, which is the guns and the reload. So looking at the reload, since I do have Halsey on here, it is a 4-second switch time and a 9-second reload. And these are 203 millimeter guns, same as Des Moines guns, but in 4 quad turrets. And I'm telling people to hey, C8, you got to go to C8. We need some people over there. The sad thing is, I've been playing this mode quite a bit, and I've noticed one thing. Everyone uses battleships, no one takes a destroyer, and very rare people take cruisers. It's literally just battleships, and even then the battleships are subpar in terms of players. And I know that's a pretty tough thing to say. And it's a little heartless, of course, but if you literally look at the stats from, the ships on your team, they kind of speak for themselves. But again, 9-second reload, Des Moines guns, really great. This ship is the best ship in terms of getting hit ribbons in terms of main battery. If Dockyard missions call for secondary batteries and main battery hits, obviously I would say go with Schlieffen because you're going to get more of them real quickly that way, and since you can do ops, you can do them a lot faster. But if you need to do solely main batteries, this ship is the way to do it. I completely forget about battleships and go straight for the destroyers, because destroyers are a big threat for any ship in this mode. And again, Illinois only has 63,000, and I don't have any flags on this. No flags. I don't think. I don't think I have any flags on her. No, yeah, she is without flags, so it's only 68,000. That's not a lot of HP for a tier 9 battleship, by far. But it is the best ship to deal with the destroyers, considering one ship might launch a couple torps, and your odds are not going to get it. And like I say, we took 2 torps there. We took a pretty good hit. This ship, I swear, feels more like a heavy cruiser than a battleship. Even though it has literally the Iowa hull, it literally looks like an Iowa. It does not have the Iowa's tankiness. I swear, I take so much more damage in this than I do in the Iowa or Missouri or any of them. So it literally is just a giant ass cruiser to me. So play it basically like a heavy cruiser, if anything. Fortunately, it gets a nice considerable good range of 18.5 kilometers for a research bureau ship, so it's not a bad ship. And then the sheer amount of reload does really start to kick in. And I will be honest, there will be a lot of times in this replay where the team, okay, one player in particular keeps telling me to get back. You'd be surprised on the number of times I've had that happen, and then I outscore those players that tell me to get back. As you all know, I'm a very aggressive World of Warships player. I'm very aggressive in my ops. In any of these modes, I'm very aggressive. Like I'm like, let's press W key and go straight in. And since I'm in a ship that literally is a heavy cruiser, I can out DPM basically every battleship on this map.
Ship is on fire.
I do wish it had Hydro, though. I really do wish this thing had Hydro. I think it would be much better with Hydro. And I am wary, Molotov torps, if those hit me, I'm fucked. I'm literally fucked if I take Molotov torps. So I'm trying to, like, I want to get that Citadel, but I also don't want to get hit. Right there, like, see if we get a quad Citadel, and we just delete it off the map. Eight shells, that's about 10,000. We aim up for the Molotov. Again, the torps launch, but they don't bypass. We don't get the Citadel on that one, but look what we do to the 7 Citadels, and we just blow up the Repulse. And I'm stuck on this wreck. I'm stuck on the Molotov. And I'm swinging my guns back around because there's 4 destroyers coming down my neck, and I'm like, yeah, those things take priority. We take out the Molotov with the secondaries, though. And there he goes, telling me to get back. Yeah, I would love to get back, but also I'm the only one out here trying fighting. Again, I mean, that was a full salvo. That was all 8 shells, or 12 shells. And literally, the team literally picks up the kills that I get. That I literally get down and then, you know.
We've sunk an enemy destroyer.
We're gonna miss those torps, fortunately. And our heel's off in 5 seconds, so... Then we got that DD that's literally just gonna sit there. If we took out the surveillance station, we'd go dark. But then if we shot the surveillance station, He'd literally show right up in front of us. Now we can basically destroy everything.
Problem solved, sir.
Aim a little bit low. There we go. Now we'll go undetected in 14 seconds with the surveillance station down. Trying to back up to try to give our Palmer some support. Activating my fleet heal. Hit about what, 5k right there, 6k? Not a bad hit. But again, one battleship shoots, and then we can literally follow up with 2 salvos. Switch to armor piercing, and we literally pick it off. It's a really good ship in this kind of mode. I really loved it. And we're at 9 kills, 14 citadels. Again, we're gonna miss those torps, fortunately. We're at 240 main battery hits. We've tanked over 1 million. 14 citadels. It's a really good ship for week 7. Really good ship. The incapacitations and the citadels, yeah. I think this mode should come back, absolutely. I do think it should be up tiered next time, though. I do think it could use that. I would say take it to tier 10 and 9. But change it around so the enemies are up tiered a little bit more. I think that would make it even funner. And I've got 1 more heal left, so I should be able to heal back a little bit more, but not much. This is pretty much as I can heal back, but that is about half my health. So I can actually be aggressive still. Go for the DDs, because again, DDs equal more XP. Another thing I've also noticed is that, you know, you might get that target down to about 1,000 HP, and then shells from something else come in to basically kill it. And I'm like, why? You already know that ship's closer. It makes no sense. And we saw the Miasma's funny button hit that Mysore. We pick up the Mysore. And we got a fire on it. We got a permanent fire. Now we can just barbecue the Warspite. Unfortunately, Miasma prevents us from barbecuing it. Now, I'm thinking, you know, the team, and I'm like thinking, okay, I'm looking at my battleships, and I'm like thinking, these battleships have not been in that much action, not nearly as much as I've been in. I mean, Palmer's a good secondary ship. It really should be at the front of the fighting. Give or take, it is German, and it does take that extra damage. So I turn around and I'm like, okay, Palmer's still full health. Miasma, about half health. And I'm not going to go in completely. I'm going to get all my guns on target so I can kind of farm and go and pull away. And Kearsarge's 2/3 health. Again, we got battleships that are at much more healthier HP than I am. But again, we're in range of literally all the reinforcement ships from the north, or I guess west, and then to the south. They'll come to the south. So we're kind of getting to a position where we can see them, we can shoot them, and then we kind of pull back. You know, the ironic thing is that I've been sitting broadside a lot in these kind of modes, and surprisingly, I've noticed that in a battleship, there are times I don't actually get citadeled. I'll just get a ton of chunk damage, and then there's that random citadel that comes in at some, point. Okay, we got a Molotov and a Scharnhorst. I'm thinking, okay. But then I'm kind of looking at my team also, and I'm like, all my teams here, they're just going to farm these down. So I'm going to just start turning away and just keep firing. Because, I mean, you got, what, 3 ships in the north. There's only me and the Vyazma in the south. And Vyazma's practically in the same position as I am. He's at, like, no HP. So he kind of needs my support. Still, I am still firing on the Scharnhorst because, why not? Maybe I can get another fire or two. We do get a fire. Fire another salvo. Maybe we'll get lucky. I highly doubt it. Oh, we do get lucky. So we got 2 fires on it. But with everything shooting at it, we're not going to get the kill because, well, for obvious reasons, of course. Even though the fire would have more than likely killed it, like, we probably could have had it. But I mean, looking at the kill count, 12 for me, 7 for the Pommern, 4 for the Pommern, and I really don't know what happened to the Ager though. I wasn't really paying attention to him. But I honestly really do enjoy this ship. I think it's a really fun ship. I don't really play it that much because it's also very much a pain because of the limited health pool. Even if you put the flag on there, that's still not nearly enough as Missouri or Iowa. If anything, you're looking at a stock Iowa hull, basically. And that's not really that fun. Again, armor piercing. No citadels, but we are doing sufficient amount of chunk damage. And we are going to pick up the kill. We're going to get 1 salvo off before. We'll check and see how much damage that was to that. So we literally ended up with just 1,000 shy of 400k. With 500 target hits. 21 plane kills, 14 kills, 29 fires, 29 incapacitations. So literally you're scoring practically everything you need for week. What are we at, 8? I think we're at 8. But we're top of the team with 1522. Pommern and Vyazma are second and third. Very well done from them. I don't really know how he really died. And then we kind of look at the guy that was telling me to get back. At the very bottom, with a solid 700 plus base XP difference between us. You do the math, and then you literally look at the stats, and you're like, yeah, now I'm kind of seeing it. Let's see, Scharnhorst, where's Mr. Scharnhorst? Be at the very end, there we go. 15,000 the Scharnhorst with 12 armor piercing salvos. Not a bad salvo. We only lost 1 secondary mount and 11 AA batteries. In terms of damage we took, It was mostly destroyer damage that literally did most of the damage to us. Very little was battleship damage. The majority of it was destroyer and cruiser damage, but it was kind of nickel and diming. I mean, the Repulse Juliet 1 did most of the damage to us in terms of battleships. But it was mostly destroyers. But again, tanked almost 2 million. Not a bad game. Scored about 230,000 with HE salvos and 112,000 with armor piercings. With green boosters, we still make just shy of 500,000. We'd make a nice, comfortable 23k or 2,300 in free XP. And then since it is a 21-point captain, we pull a nice, 9,500 in terms of commander XP. Overall, a really good ship, and I really wanted to be bringing you guys footage of the Illinois. That's a ship I really wanted to bring to the channel. Just getting footage for some of these ships, though, especially the Tier 9 research ships, are a little bit of a trouble. So I look for these special modes to kind of highlight their skills. But it's a really great ship. If you have the research points sitting around, of course, I'd recommend Ohio, Pablo Emilio, Slava, Hull, Colbert. Obviously, there are better picks than the Illinois, absolutely. But if you have the extra stuff and are constantly resetting it every 3 months or even more, then get the Illinois. I really enjoy it. For the most part, though, I mainly get my Illinois ships, my research bureau ships, because, Cap and Devil are basically wallet warriors, and I bought every ship. There's a few dockyard ships I have that they don't have, but then the only thing I do have on, a couple of them, on them too, are my research bureau ships. Mostly Devil. But Illinois, great ship, well worth the research points if you have them laying around.